Hello everyone, we are watching Team Secret.Matumbaman carry Ricky game. Hopefully we will learn the tricks that he does as a carry, or how he reads the game, how he itemize. As usual, this will definitely open our eyes to see how he understands the game as a carry player. So we can see that he starts the game with the two slippers of agility. Usually the carry heroes like starts the game with the circlet or Venom on certain heroes like Slug, even Ricky, but he buys two slippers of agility. And if you can look back why his damage is around like 59 to 63, so around 61, 60, around that. At the 61, hopefully. And in the meantime, the Mars attack damage is like 50 to 60, so the gap is huge, 8. So it's around like 57 or 56. So we understand like basically the Ricky has like better damage against Mars, but like now we need to think about the other support. So who reduces the damage is like 110% damage reduction every time he used a Fade Bolt on Ricky. So Ricky has to have high damage to play the laning, so he will be able to farm better. So considering that he buying two agility slippers of agility, like one cost for only 145 gold if I'm not mistaken, which is very cheap. So he buys two and more tangles and a clean blade. So it shows like how important it is to have damage and more agility. So and then why is it also important? What's his goal throughout his laning? I believe like Cloak of Dagger, like this gives you like agility damage multiple. So like once you get that, like every time the backstrap works, like you does like extra damage based on the agility. So so your entire goal should be your first timing is going to be hitting your level 6 for this skill. So playing through playing through your laning stage, your goal is going to be get the items like this items that will help you to deal a lot of damage once you hit your level 6 or 7. So talking about that, we will see how it goes. The laning, good block, and the first wave he used the Fate Bolt straight away, so he has only 61 damage. So 60 versus 60, like definitely Mars could do better. So what he does is like he pulls away to the range. Now he farms underneath the tower. Okay, now he will be able to farm because with the help of the tower he will be able to secure the creep. He was like quite low on damage. Now as usual the support is blocking the big camp. So now if you can see that as a carry player how he understands the laning, not only the creeps, not only about the creep equilibrium, he also always checking on his supporter and also on the enemy support. So the moment while he's blocking, he sees like alright, he's there. Now he's going there to punish the Grim. Now if you see that he used the Fate Bolt, the moment he used the Fate Bolt, he already used the Fate Bolt on the Grim. He immediately turns and going on to Ricky, I mean Rubik, and they punish him together like super heavy damage, like punishing this Rubik for using the Fate Bolt on this Grim stroke because he can trade super good against the Grim. He has like very low damage. So because of that, he got punished and he was forced to use the Sal and the Tanger. Now he can focus the farm freely because like Rubik is away from the creep wave. Now they decided to go on this Mars, punishing him a little bit, and he's back to the lane full HP. I mean, yeah. So he used the Sal. They forced to use the Sal. Now about this range creep. So the Grimstroke like secure the range because like just because the Ricky has the blink doesn't mean he wants to secure that. You always need to communicate with your supporter as a carry player, which is really important. And this Ricky having this Grimstroke as the Pos1 allows him to secure the range creep without him committing. So he gets the level. He doesn't. The creep didn't get denied. So Grim gets the gold. Both of them are getting sharing the experience, which is super. And also the meantime he doesn't have to use his blink to get into the enemy to secure the range. If he does it, so Mars is already level 2. Mars and Rubik will definitely punish him, and he will end up getting low HP. and he's not happy about that. But now he's definitely happy. He doesn't need to commit fully for these range creeps. But now his Grim is nowhere closer to him, and also the range creep is like very closer to him, so he will be able to, in a slow motion, sorry, he will be able to secure that. So like in this scenario, he's using the blink to secure that. Even if he blinks on the range to secure, he's not in a bad position against them, because like even the Rubik is far away from him. So right now the Grimstroke is deblocking this cam. We talked about this like in a different video. So if you don't know why is it so important to unblock this cam, please find a video that I made earlier, like Jakiro gameplay by Xnova. There you can learn the post 5 and the decision making as a post 5. So he's devoting the cam, which is really important to set up the lane for carry. So every time he uses the Fate Bolt, it's quite hard for him to farm. It will be easier for Mars to deny. And now they're harassing the Mars a little bit. Why this Rubik and Mars are always punishing the Ricky, not the Grimstroke? Because the entire goals would be shutting down the carry, not just the sub order. Because carry is the one who's going to carry the game end of today. So they punish him, and also they harass the Mars together, because Mars is the laner. They don't want the Mars to have a good time. They want to force the Mars to buy the extra consumable items, so that gives him life regenerations or mana regenerations. So that way the enemy don't get to buy the things that the hero actually needs, something that's giving him stats or damage or something else, which will be good for him after the laning. And they will only punish the Rubik whenever he gets out of position. Whenever he makes a mistake, they will punish him. So he's like super low, but his first item is Blightstone. 4 armor on Rubik, 3 armor on Mars. So with the Blightstone, he will be able to, like, another way to deal damage is reducing the armor. So even if you use a Fate Bolt, because of the minus armor, he will be able to secure the creeps. Why? It reduced the armor by 2, and the creep has only 2 armor. So even though he reduced the armor damage by using the Fate Ball, because of the armor reduction, negative armor concept, so you will be eventually able to get the last hits easily. And also you will be able to pressure the enemy superbly, because you have a Grimstroke who has a 3rd skill. Once you get the level 2 or level 3, you will definitely have a kill potential. Even if you don't end up killing the enemy, you will be able to harass them very nicely. So once again he secures the range. Okay, Ricky is back to full HP. Now we see what happened here. So he is low, salved by him, and what Grim did was, the lane is getting pushed in enemy's favor, so he wants to set up the lane back in carry's favor. We also talk about this in the other video, support video. So he pulls it pretty early on. He is not going to get to pull that, but he's pulling it earlier, so the creep will follow him. So the Rubik wouldn't be able to interrupt the pull, because you can only aggro it in a while. So now it follows him. So because of that, the Rubik is running away. He interrupts the pull, but he knows the Grimstroke will again pull the wave since he has the time. So he turned back to interrupt the pull again. But what happened was, if you watch the replay using his perspective, so he pulls, he interrupts. So the wave is following him, the waves. Now he sees the Grim will pull again. The creep also coming. So he turned, but when he turned, oh my goodness, I'm gonna die. Now he knows. How did it happen? Because this Ricky and Grimstroke, they use the skills in the fog. So he doesn't see them using their influence on Ricky. So which is why he turned, because he knows they are gonna pull, which why the pull is like very important. So he is like, okay, I'm gonna stop them from pulling. Then he turned. The moment he turned, he knows, okay, I'm done, I'm gonna die. So he runs away, but like it wasn't quite enough. He used the Fairy Fire, and boom, first blood. Super for Ricky. Immediately he gets to complete the red band. he will have enough gold to complete the second red band as well. It's definitely gonna help him to have a better time throughout the laning. So now the lane is pushed. So somebody has to pull it. So instead of waiting for the big camp to be pulled, he's running to the he's pulling it and stacked it. But he messed up. He missed, only managed to pull two. The other creeps are going into the enemy side, so definitely they are not happy about it. So instead of waiting once again to pull this big creep wave, he is heading to the small camp and managed to pull. Okay, this is super. He managed to pull three and he missed one, but this is definitely going to set up the lane pretty well for them, because like as a supporter, I usually do this on purpose, because now this Ricky doesn't have to tank this huge wave. Like even if there are more creeps, you don't have to tank it. Why? This one creep is not going to give so much to them. The meantime, this three creeps are dying to the neutral, and I'm getting, as a supporter, I'm getting levels. At the meantime, the enemy, this is the tank for Ricky. This creep is delaying the enemy wave. That way, he doesn't have to tank. He will not be forced to farm underneath the tower. If he was like forced to tank or forced to farm underneath the tower, enemy will be able to harass him, or he will use the fate ball. Like that way, he won't have damage to farm easily. But now, this looks pretty fine. So now, even now, he farms underneath the tower, but he farms slightly outside the range, so the enemy don't get to interrupt the farming. At the meantime, the Mars is running there to get the levels, and after he got the levels, he's hanging around the area to block the camp, so the camp will be blocked. The meantime, as a carry, he always looking for the opportunity to punish the enemy. He sees the Mars is not here, he is blocking the camp, he knows that from Grimstroke Vision. Now he knows this guy is alone. Even the entire creep wave is right-clicking the Ricky, he still goes on the Rubik to punish him a little bit. So understanding the Mars is nowhere closer to the Rubik, so he can punish him. So he does it and makes him down to half HP, which is super. And you see like how impactful it is by harassing the enemy non-stop. You're forcing them to buy more cells, buy consumable item. He exactly bought like 6 tangles and 2 cells for this laning, and he's like super far away from getting this boost of speed. This is gonna put so much pressure on this Rubik. And here, so he's low on mana, but he's healthy, and now they're farming. He's like farming really well. Now you see, so the Mars used a spear to secure the drain. He's really happy about that. He secured it, but like now he doesn't have the spear, so Ricky will be able to punish the Mars, knowing that the Rubik is quite low already. He forced the Rubik to run away quite a bit. So now this is the sword time. So look what happens. So he's low on mana. He immediately communicated with the supporter, and he used the mango on the Ricky, restored instantly his mana. So now they go on him. Even if they don't get to kill him, completely fine. As long as he gets to make the enemy super lower, he will be happy. He missed the hill, so what? Now we will see like how he's very strong and almost level 6. So this is really important as a carry, that you need to secure these levels very early on. You have to ask your supporters to go away and pull the wave. At the meantime, you can free farm. That's why you always need to make sure the creep wave is right in front of your tower or very closer to your tower. So that way you are in a good position even without your supporter's help. So he can go away, fight the supporter on his own, secure the rune, pull the camp. So by doing that, you are also like setting up the lane for the carry. At the meantime, carry is getting free levels. Giving free levels to these like accent calls are like super, because this hero is not going to hit the neutral right after the laning. If he wants the lane, he's going to punish the enemy. So and one more thing, how important this Sage Creep is for a carry. It gives you 88 experience. You know like how important the range creeps are, which is why we are always using the spell to secure that, because like it gives you 69 experience and a lot of gold. But the Siege Creep gives you way too much experience, 88 and roughly around like 65 gold. That's a lot as a carry. So like getting these like free level, you're definitely going to get level 6 like very early on. So now you get level 6. He understands that the support is like not here. So whenever the supporter is not around the Mars, he's punishing the Mars. Whenever the Mars is not around the Rubik, he's always punishing the Rubik. So like this is really good. So he understands the situation. He can go on him and punish him a little bit, immediately using the skills and punishing. And why is he running towards the enemy tower? Because that's a dangerous spot, right? But he's trying to, while he's trying to pull the wave that the Mars pulled to the big camp. He's trying to connect it to the creep that is actually going underneath the tower. So by doing that, he will be able to. So this is good. So he forced the Mars to use the spare. So it on the other side. So it helped the Ricky a lot to match the wave. So he successfully tracked the wave in his favor. Now he's getting free farm. At the meantime, the Mars doesn't get to deny those creeps. And now that he's getting punished, like he's super understanding his limits and everything as a hero. Like level 6 and the level 4 Grimstroke, like he understands he can actually kill him with some sort of help from Grim. So even underneath the tower, they are punishing the Mars. Unless someone stronger comes to the bottom lane, he won't leave the bottom lane. So this is like very good for Ricky. He has won the lane, so definitely he doesn't want to go to the top lane and mess up the farming that he has. He has like very good start on Ricky. Like now, why is he going to mid lane? He can simply farm bottom and pressure the Ricky a little bit, but Ricky choose to move to mid lane because he's really fat, and he even up the smoke screen like very early on. I haven't seen this from the other carry players like very often. Like they always max the second and the third skill on the Ricky, even though after they complete the power 3 and 2 red bands with their orb of horizon, they always prefer to complete the power 3. But this guy buys the void stone and walking around the map even after winning the lane. It's not only AFK farming, he always look around the map to put the Dota pressure on the enemy heroes. So this is really nice. And also he doesn't leave the bottom lane at all. He doesn't want to go to top and take the tower. He just a Ricky. He doesn't want to force himself to do such things. He's like free farming, and he's making sure the enemy cannot take the tower. As long as the enemy don't have an option to take your tower, why would you put yourself in a position where you have to take the tower? So he got the level 6 with the help of Outpost. So he didn't even have a blood arena before 10 minutes. So like you can see how dominant it was at the bottom lane. At the meantime, he's like level 8, which is really good for Ricky. So like now he farmed the second siege creep. He gets like a lot of experience, and he solves the bottom lane. He sees like, okay, now we have to watch the player's perspective to understand how he makes the decision, the best decision out of this situation. But he holds the wave right behind the tower, so the creep wave will punish the tower. There are two range creep who does like 25 damage, and the siege creep 40 damage, and the melee creeps are tanking. So he farms the wave behind the tower, so the tower will eat like ton of damage from the siege and the range. So like tower is dead. Like let's see how he decides. So when he was at here, he sees like many heroes are at the top lane in the minimap. He looks at top lane. He sees 5 heroes are walking into their tower, and Trim Coiled is used, and so he TPs immediately and gets the assist, getting free gold. So he could have done this earlier for the 10 minutes to take this tower with the 10-minute siege creep, but he didn't do that because he was dominating at the bottom lane. The enemy cannot come to bottom, so they don't want to trade when he had the better opportunity to play the game. So he made the best decision to stay at the bottom and continue the pressure, so that way the enemy doesn't want to come and push the lane against the Ricky. So now what happened is he TP to top lane. He helped his team. He won a fight. He forced the he forced the opponent to come to top, and then he punished them. Now also he TP top. Now he can naturally take the tower because they are dead. They don't have the skills, so they have to come back once again if they want to defend it. In the meantime, he understands he's super fat, very close to getting his battle fury. So he continues the tower. At the meantime, enemy cannot take the tower. Why? He TP'd the moment they dive underneath the tower. he punished them, so the enemy is like strong enough to create the tower against this Ricky. So he will definitely TP bottom and fight them. So they are looking for kills. As they look for kills, they smoked. It didn't work because they want to kill this Ricky. They want to punish this Ricky. Ricky is the one like who is strongest in this game right now, strongest hero. And Ricky chose to play around this ladder and the other heroes, so he can be so effective. He needs that extra help from these support who can actually set up the team fight for him. Because he doesn't have the diffusal, so he definitely needs the help from the Slider and the Pango and the Grims to secure the kills. So like they don't get to go on this Ricky. He always solves the lanes into the enemy side. And once he farmed the enemy side of the map, there's no creep, immediately running through triangle, understanding that he did his job. Now it's time for him to fast farm. Once again he goes to top lane because he doesn't want to farm in front of the tower when the creep wave is there. So now the wave is pushed again in his favor, so he could farm it. And he is the highest level hero in this game. And checking the net worth, he is the highest net worth hero as well. So here, like this support is always behind the carry, helping the easy kills on this Mars. Because of that, this Mars looks like support. Very easy kills, very easy assists. So they win this fight. So like 15 minutes into the game, Ricky contributes a lot for the team, and a Battle Fury and 2 red bands and all. So once again, like, why is he prefer to farm the top side of the map? He can simply farm the triangle and spend the time, farm everything and wait for the creeps to respawn, farm it again, farm the mid lane. He can do that, but he is always playing the top because he's owning, and he always want to press at the top lane. He doesn't want the other core to push the top lane because they are the fighters. They're okay to lose their lives to do something on the map. But he as a carry, he doesn't want to feed. He wants to keep farming while he's putting the pressure. Whatever you do in the game of Dota, you always figure out how to put the Dota pressure on the enemy. So by farming in the right place, by sowing the waves into the enemy side, you are creating Dota pressure. So once you farm the enemy jungle, you look back, look at the minimap, you still have your jungle to farm. You still have it. This is always for you. So you can simply go there and farm. And then once you finish your safe farm at your triangle, you look at the minimap, you see like good wardings, and you see where the mass is, you see where the void spread is, and your teammates are right closer to the enemy. So you have an option. Once you finish your farm, you look at the minimap. Alright, he knows where he needs to go to put the pressure once again. So he is connecting to his team and he kept killing the mass. So like it puts so much pressure on the enemy. And now why are they doing the Rosa? Is it because like they can do they are super fat? No. It is because like they can do the Rosan one thing, two, then they can do the Rosan like very early on with this lineup, also with the help of this Sliders amp. But what most important is like they can use the ages properly for next 5 minutes. They can use the max out of it. So once they get the ages, they're pressing the objective. So they are getting the ages because the enemy is dodging. Once again he goes to top lane because he doesn't want to farm in front of the tower when the creep wave is there. So now the wave is pushed again in his favor, so he could farm it. And he is the highest level hero in this game. And checking the net worth, he is the highest net worth hero as well. So here, like this support is always behind the carry, helping the easy kills on this Mars. Because of that, this Mars looks like support. Very easy kills, very easy assists. So they win this fight. So like 15 minutes into the game, Ricky contributes a lot for the team, and a Battle Fury and 2 red bands and all. So once again, like why is he prefer to farm the top side of the map? He can simply farm the triangle and spend the time, farm everything and wait for the creeps to respawn, farm it again, farm the mid lane. He can do that, but he's always playing the top because he's owning, and he always want to pressure the top lane. He doesn't want the other core to push the top lane because they are the fighters. They're okay to lose their lives to do something on the map. But he, as a carry, he doesn't want to feed. He wants to keep farming while he's putting the pressure. Whatever you do in the game of Dota, you always figure out how to put the Dota pressure on the enemy. So by farming in the right place, by sowing the waves into the enemy side, you are creating Dota pressure. So once you farm the enemy jungle, you look back, look at the minimap, you still have your jungle to farm. You still have it. This is always for you. So you can simply go there and farm. And then once you finish your safe farm at your triangle, you look at the minimap, you see like good wardings, and you see where the mass is, you see where the voice rate is, and your teammates are right closer to the enemy. So you have an option. Once you finish your farm, you look at the minimap. Alright, he knows where he needs to go to put the pressure once again. So he is connecting to his team and he kept killing the mass. So like it puts so much pressure on the enemy. And now why are they doing the Rosa? Is it because like they can do they are super fat? No. It is because like they can do the Rosan one thing, two, then they can do the Rosan like very early on with this lineup, also with the help of this sliders amp. But what most important is like they can use the ages properly for next 5 minutes. They can use the max out of it. So once they get the ages, they are pressing the objective. So they are getting the ages because the enemy is dodging. They are also not even opening the tower. If they open the tower when you are doing very well, you will be able to defend it. Like you can call it defensive, but you are going there to smash the enemy as you are the strongest team lineup, as you are the strongest hero. So but the meantime the enemy doesn't do that. Enemy decided to trade like once you get the ages only. Like 17 minutes into the game, this is the first time you see the enemies are pressuring the tower. By creating the gap between you and the enemy team, it will definitely help you to have a better advantage over them. So before you go to the tower, so if you go to the tower to pressure the enemy to come to you, in a different way, you are also exposing yourself to the enemy. So the enemy knows where you are because they don't have any votes in their jungle. The enemy is dominating. They are here like hiding. They are not even ready to fight. Like they don't wanna lose many heroes. So like they are only here to take this tower. So they don't see the enemy. But like, since they're Radiant going for this tier 2 tower, they know where the heroes are. They know where they are. So because of that, if the opponent, as we are the Radiant, the enemy will be able to figure out a way to smash us because underneath the tower they will have the building vision on us. So like they don't need to find us one thing, and the tower damage and all. So like that will help them a lot. It will be in their favor. So like because of that, it's always better to secure that ages right before you go for this go to this place. So even if something happens, like they will think twice before they do that. So since you have the ages on your imported carry, because all this time until this moment you kept the Riki away from the enemy. So calling it objective, this is where you are forcing your carry to expose himself to take the tower. So enemy doesn't need to catch the Riki. They can simply fight and catch the Riki. So because this Aegis allows him to have 2 lives, so the enemy don't want to do that. But what else we can learn about the team fight is, or the setting of the team fight, even if you see the enemy coming like this, you should allow them to walk in. They don't have to vote. So like they have to walk to the high ground blindly. So as they're coming, you should allow them to come. You should not be blocking right here, because if you block there, the enemy won't come to the high ground. So you always need to stay away, so the enemy is like encouraged to walk to the high ground. So now he's at the top lane, high ground. So now you are allowed to fight him. Coiled, smashing the enemy. Unfortunately he got ruptured, so he cannot spin. So he dies without getting to use his ulti. But at the meantime, Grim and Riki are doing the good job. Riki is owning even inside the blood arena. So like this fight began right before he comes in. So he blinked in, smoked. Because of the Grim soul bind, they cannot break it. So like they're taking a huge damage from this Ricky, and because of that they lose. So like this Ricky is always being their finisher. He finished the fight. He doesn't open here. He doesn't open the fight. Even though he has the ages, he's trying to play like a finisher. And what about this fight? As he owns the lane, as he controls the map, they have great wards underneath the towers. I mean like behind the towers, and they're waiting for the enemy to make a mistake. Top lane is first, mid lane is first, and the void split comes, and they furnish the void split. So these fights are super good, and they're not wasting the ages. They don't dive underneath the tower. They don't like continue the fight in the opponent's favor. They always respect. Just because you have the ages doesn't mean you have to stand and fight. You always need to make the right decision. So this is the huge difference between this Matumbaman and the other core players. Especially when I see the carry players from my rank or the lowest rank, like the moment they get the ages, they consider themselves as gold, like somebody like unkillable. No, wrong. Like you still have to be disciplined. You still have to respect your opponent. So this definitely allows him to control the game. So now finally takes this free tower as the opponent is down. They cannot fight you back. Finally take this. So they maximize the ages after they killed the Rosan. They maximize. They used it very nicely. Like when they went to Rosan pit, the net worth was like 5k lead or 6k. Now it's 12k net worth lead. They don't throw the team fight. They are not using the ages to win the team fight only. They're also the meantime they're winning the team fight. But the most important thing is they're trying to maximize their farm and their farm against the opponent. So that way they can double the items. So when you have more items after the mid game, the enemy wouldn't be able to like fight against you. They always have to farm and make more items to deal with you. As a man, he doesn't have the dagger, no heals or nothing. So now you see like how important it is to win the lane. And if you win the lane, you should not move to jungle right after you winning a lane. It's very important for you to stay in the lane and punish the opponent and put the pressure on the bottom lane and continue the dominance against the enemy offlane. So that way the enemy won't have a game unless you throw the game. But now he has the against the second item. It's like reduces the cast range and the attack, increases the duration attacks and the cast range. Also allows you to target an ally hero. Like this is super. So like now they took the top tower, mid tower. So their objective is controlling the triangle, enemy triangle, and stopping the enemy from farming it. So, and slowly the tower will fall down. So now they are controlling the tower. Now they dive underneath the towers, tier 4 towers, tier 3, tier 4. Nothing could stop this Ricky from dominating. Why? Level 19, where the enemy carry is only level 15. And if you look at the item, he's like super fat. So through the laning, like the importance of buying these like small items from the starting gold and how it affects the game, how it affects him to farm better against the enemy, how he dominates the enemy, how he takes the decision to punish the Rubik or Mars each and different situations. He because of his decision making, he managed to do all these things. While he was free farming, like he dominated the lane, continued the aggression at the bottom lane. He doesn't leave the bottom lane even to take the top tower. He made sure like he doesn't die anywhere on the map. He played very safe and made sure the support is very closer to him to help him. So, and this is like really nice. So if you're a carry player, the certain things that you need to understand is like if you're winning the lane, where you have to play. If you're losing the lane, how you need to itemize, where you should be playing and all. And especially the carry players are when they are winning the lane, when they are having a good time, the importance they give it to the farm. They always keep farming. They're doubling the network. They're doubling the item. They always want to farm and get more items to win the game. But like this guy is free farming. While he's free farming, the only thing he does is simply applying pressure on the map by pushing the lanes or by killing the people or by dominating the lane or by farming non-stop in the right place. He's always in the right side of the map, right place in the map, so the enemy, it's very hard for the enemy to punish him. And when he got the ages and the really good items, when he knows that he has the damage to kill the enemy, he's always jumping on the enemy and punishing them at the first place. What makes you a better carry player is smart decision making. So if you know like how to like understand the situation, each and every situation, and play accordingly, you can be one of the best carry player. Alright guys, I hope like you have learned a lot from this replay. So please subscribe my channel and share the video. It means a lot to me, and if you have any feedback to improve my work, please leave it in the comment section. So in another video I will be coming up with better content. So for now, bye bye, see you guys.